How's it going, everybody? MyCupOfTea here, back in a reaction video. Today, we're here to watch a video from Diamondbolt. Yay, yay. Now, I have watched this one reactor watch these videos that are basically how anime fan bases treat, their anime. Like One Piece, Naruto. I'm like, that's pretty funny. And kind of true, in a sense. So I wonder, what about the other fan bases outside of anime? And surprisingly, Diamondbolt has made a video about this. His most recent video, which is The Crazy World of Unhinged Fanbases. Just looking at this thumbnail alone, I can see some, some shows, some characters that would have some very wild fan bases. Now, I'm surprised that, the Amazing Digital World Circus has some crazy fan bases, Unhinged. That probably makes sense. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Waiting for the next episode to come out too. But yeah, let's start this. I'm excited.
I'm Pickle Rick! My beloved Dum-Dum! I'm Pickle Rick!
If I've learned anything in my
I forgot that was an era. Oh yeah, never mind.
57 years on this planet, it's
Rick and Morty, no. Rick and Morty fans, what are you doing? I forgot the whole Pickle Rick thing was like blowing up everywhere when that show came out. Okay, it's gonna be one of those types of videos, huh? Alright. Everybody, if we can try, we can get through this, guys. We can get through this video. This might be pain. This might be some pain in here.
I'm Pickle Rick! My beloved Dum-Dum! I'm Pickle Rick!
if I've learned anything in my 57 years on this planet, it's to make sure that I never interact with
Minecraft
people who
on
share
here,
the same
I feel.
interests as me, ever. I started life day one on hard mode, because I was born as a Sonic fan, which as we all know is on the Mount Rushmore of dog shit fan.
Okay, see, I got some friends that they like Sonic. They're okay, they're fine, they're cool. But they tell me about some of the people in the fan bases. I'm like, ooh, that hurts. Also, you gotta be like you gotta have so much determination, dedication to still be a Sonic fan after what they have done to you guys in the past with these games. But hey, that's not the worst one on here, I see. I knew this character would be here. This is definitely the Rushmore of Unhinged fan bases. This is definitely it.
Fan bases. Like many 2000s kids with absent parents, Sonic was literally my entire personality for like a solid third of my entire life.
I mean, I wasn't a Sonic fan.
That I used to unironically run with my arms behind my back, so every PE class was a free cringe compilation for the rest of my entire cohort. But while I'm used to the Sonic fan base being as collectively depressed and miserable as your average Spider-Man fan, it's not the people that don't like Sonic that you have to worry about here. It's the ones that like him maybe a little too much, the people that pepper spray random GameStop employees and send Sega hostage execution photos of their plushies, or because they made Sonic's arms blue one time. And the fact that you can Google literally any name with the Hedgehog and get your own private army of shitty DeviantArt recolors. And as a kid who just wanted to engage in lighthearted discussion about which Sonic character was the biggest baddie in the trenches of Amino, every single time I just wanted to Google, like, I don't know, Amy or Knuckles, I had to mentally censor like half the search results to shield myself from all of the swollen bellies and pregnant toilet fan art, because Sonic fans are some of the most creative and talented people on the entire planet, and they use that power to make so much goddamn porn. And after a while, having a fan base this unhinged literally tanked the reputation of the entire series for years, to a point where it took like $1 billion at the box office for it to like now be safe to publicly admit you like Sonic again. But like this kind of shit makes a genuine impact on how much people want to engage with things. Like I don't know what the fuck Homestuck is, but like after all the shit I've heard about its deranged fan base, I don't want to go near this shit. But it took getting older and venturing outside the confines of the Sonic Google Plus pages to realize that maybe it wasn't that bad being exposed to fetish art of Sonic's toes on a daily basis when you've got anime fans who have bi-weekly meetups over which high school student they're more attracted to, or the Star
That can't be true. That's probably true. That's wild.
Wars fandom whose scheduled activities include competitive racism and bullying actors off of social media.
Is that true? Oh, Star Wars fans, do better.
If you were just going off of like Twitter and YouTube, Star Wars fans would come off as the most perpetually pissed off collection of people on the entire planet. And now because you got Disney like milking the shit out of the brand and dropping a new Disney Plus show every week, the rest of the internet has to hear on a daily basis about how much these guys hate women and any person of color, and also this guy doing a spin in the Boba Fett show. Which is funny because the creator George Lucas has publicly stated many times that he made them as movies for 12-year-olds. I'm not even like making fun of anyone, he like literally said that.
It's hard for people to realize, and I'm not supposed to say this, and I wasn't supposed to say it then, but, it's a film for 12-year-olds.
And look, I don't have to sit here and tell you that not everyone is like this, and there's
I wasn't a Star Wars fan either.
Good people in every fan base, okay? You know that. I know that. George
Yeah, we all know that, yeah.
probably doesn't know that. But I went to the Revenge of the Sith screening last week and was prepared for a Minecraft movie experience where I'd have to inhale the stench of the one collective shower of the entire audience. But no, it was fine. People were actually super respectful,
nice. Good,
except
good.
for my friend who kept calling General Grievous General Chungus. But when you think of fan bases like these, you're not thinking of the normal people. You're
Right,
thinking of the
right.
person
The
who bathed in a
Unhinged.
bath full of Sharpie to try and bleach their skin for a cosplay. Seriously.
Oh, what the? Oh, the Minted. I got it.
What the fuck is Homestuck about, man? I'm sure
don't-
there's a
that
ton
was a
of super
Homestuck thing? I
creative
don't know
and
who that is
passionate Star
either.
Wars fans out there somewhere, but I never get to hear from them because they're drowned out by all of these loud-ass hate grift channels that are angry literally all of the time
Not Tyro Magnus.
and treat The Last Jedi like it was their Pearl Harbor.
Fuck this movie, eat my ass, and suck every hair off my balls.
Anyway, you can't talk about
Bill?
toxic fandoms without bringing up music fans. which
Don't
are
do
only-
it. Don't do it. Diamondbolt. Don't open that can of K-pop. Don't open up that can of worms. Don't say who should not be named. You might enwrath. You might summon their rage, their wrath.
Going to get into really quickly because I just feel like I don't have enough death threats in my Twitter DMs right now. It's really easy to point and laugh at people who have like celebrity obsession when it's not something you've experienced personally. Like, I'm never gonna understand why people were losing their shit over the Beatles in the 60s and then again in 2010 with a slightly hotter version of the Beatles. Like, sure, I wish Markiplier was my friend, but you're never gonna catch me waiting like 12 days in line for the privilege
Dang.
of blowing like $1,000 on a ticket to a concert I can't even hear because everyone is screaming the entire goddamn time. But I can't imagine how fucking terrifying it must be being a celebrity
Take
with a
down.
fan base like this, where you're at constant risk of people yoinking your hair and amassing like an extensive archive of pictures of your toes. But there's two things in life that genuinely scare the shit out of me, and that's kidney stones and Taylor Swift. Swifties.
No. He did it. May God have. Wait, I messed up. May God have. What is it? May God have mercy on your soul. Diamondbolt, you were a true one. If I don't see you after this, you had a good career, because these Swifties, hey man, you done it.
Swifties,
The witch
or the
scream from
scientific
Left 4
terms,
Dead?
fucking psychopaths, is a fan base whose activities include perpetually crying and communally drinking the blood of her 27 exes. And like, I like Taylor Swift, okay? Like, it's not my favorite music in the world, but like, I got no beef with her personally, okay? And it's not them like forming a ritualistic summoning circle at the bottom of the Cinemas
That's
that Era's
scary.
tour concert that's the problem, okay? Because that shit's funny as hell. It's the fact that they can be as dedicated to draining their life savings on expensive ass merch as they are hunting down anyone that so much as makes a joke about their Lord and Savior. Because when animation
Yep,
YouTuber Meat
mhm,
Canyon
Meat
made a
Canyon,
Taylor
yeah,
Swift
Meat-
video
yeah, I
last
remember
year,
that.
they reacted as any normal people would by sending him actual witch curses on Twitter.
I remember that because I watched that video, and then I watched, I think it was Papa Roach, that's his second channel, and he talked about the situation. I'm like, oh wow, okay, yeah, they cannot take a joke. They definitely cannot take a joke. They sending him all types of threats. Dang, it wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even that bad of a video, unlike the other people he made on. And we're back.
They reacted as any normal people would by sending him actual witch curses on Twitter, because that's like a completely normal
Hogan's
thing to
will
do,
collapse,
which is
okay.
part of what they call Tay Voodoo,
Tay
which is
Voodoo.
an actual thing, apparently, by the way, where some of her most obsessed fans like to pretend that anyone who wrongs her ends up with like this Taylor Swift-induced karma. It's all a part of like some cosmic plan, as if she's like fucking Palpatine or some shit. So
I was praying so hard in the Super Bowl game last year. No, it was this year. Yeah, it was this year against the Chiefs versus the Eagles. I was praying so hard for them. I was praying for them to lose even before then. The Chiefs to lose. It's not even having anything to do with Taylor. It's just I'm tired of the Chiefs. But since Taylor was there, it made it even worse. I'm like, lose even more now.
if my mutilated corpse washes up on a beach after this video, it wasn't the Sonic fans that did it, alright? I'm just saying. Here's an article about someone who got sent death threats, was doxxed, and then was accused of
Dang.
being a Minecraft
Dang.
YouTuber after he dared to
Not
criticize
a Minecraft
Taylor's
YouTuber.
Era's tour like one time, dude. Like, these people scare the shit out of me. I think Taylor Swift fans would actually kill a person. Imagine like
No, they would,
mid-concert,
they
she just
would.
singled someone out and went like, do it. I think they would. I think they fucking eat that guy. And
No,
I don't
they
even
would.
want to bring up like K-pop fans,
yeah,
okay?
yeah,
I
don't
would
do
feel
that.
safer in a room with fucking John Wayne Gacy than a 16 to
Dang.
25-year-old who likes BTS. But honestly, like, these guys are pretty easy to ignore as long as you just avoid mentioning the exalted one. Unlike
Yeah.
sports fans, which I've had to put up with against my will for my entire life because I live in Australia and half of every conversation I've ever had is being asked what team I barrack for before they start verbally and physically abusing the nearest TV and or umpire. But again,
I forgot about sports fans are also unhinged. Especially, I'm assuming it's football, soccer.
I don't have a problem if F1 fans want to drop like most people's quarterly rent to watch cars go around in a circle. If that's what you're into, dude, then hell yeah, okay? I love that. But for some reason, there is a direct connection between how cute and wholesome a show is and how much you should never talk to anyone that watches it. Like The Loud House, a show on Nickelodeon about a kid and his massive family of underage sisters and parents who need to get a hobby. The single...
The fact that he mentioned underage sisters, which means they're about to be some lunatics talking about them sisters.
On Nickelodeon about a kid and his massive family of underage sisters and parents who need to get a hobby. The single longest piece of text in human history is a 16 million word long Loud House fanfic written by a 30-year-old man role-playing his preteen self-insert Loud House OC, which is not even that bad if you saw some of the shit that they make fan art of, which is just one of the many reasons why the Loud House fandom has a reputation for having a higher concentration of predators than the entirety of Epstein Island. Has Hotel has only been around for a few.
See, I want to watch it. I want to watch Harassment Hotel. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been thinking about it like a while now. But I don't know how the fan base is. I feel like, the more popular a show is, the more unhinged, the more unhinged the fan base becomes. In Harassment Hotel, I am kind of scared to react to it. I don't know what to say. I ain't scared of nobody. Who cares?
Of predators in the entirety of Epstein Island. Has Been Hotel has only been around for a few years, and its fan base has already peaked.
I remember that, yeah.
$50,000 of his own
That's
money
crazy.
commissioning a 3-minute-long Gooner AMV.
I gotta laugh at that. I'm laughing at you for that.
There's a Russian cult based on the mouse from Chip and Dale. Okay? Every fan base has that one incident that we just do not talk about. And like most of these are obscure enough to stay within the fandom they came from. So you just have all this crazy shit going on that you'd like never know about if you're not like a chronically online Tumblr user. Like bronies have been copping shit for decades for being a larger portion of the My Little Pony fan base than the 6-year-old girls is meant to be selling toys to. And like, I'm sure most of them are absolutely lovely people,
about the
but
ponies,
all it took was one
thing.
guy to ruin every single trip to Kmart, because now every time I see a jar, you got me acting like that one dude in Akira.
I don't know
but
what
I'm
this
sure
is,
no
though.
one's surprised that
is.
most of these insane-ass fan bases come from the scariest site on the internet that isn't 4chan, Tumblr. I've never used Tumblr in my entire life, but the impression I've gotten from it over the years is that it's basically like digital Arkham Asylum for violently horny high school girls who will sexualize literally anything in a suit or top hat that looks like it breathes. They made an entire fandom around the Onceler. You know, the guy from the fucking Illumination Lorax movie who then eventually birthed a phenomenon known as the Tumblr Sexymen. Now, as far as I know, the scriptures aren't like specific on what makes one eligible for such a prestigious honor. Like generally their only requirements is to either be dripped the fuck out and probably canonically responsible for the deaths of thousands of people.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. That's nothing wrong with that, apparently.
Like Sans, Undertale, Alistair from Has Been Hotel, and Waluigi.
Waluigi?
And they held a tournament a few years back to decide the ultimate Tumblr sex.
Hold on, what is happening here? What is going on, Tumblr? Oh, look, I know this guy. That's the big shot. Harold Bryan. Is that Dio? I can't tell some of these pictures. They're so small. Sans right there. That's all I can really tell. Megamind I see. Dang. Crazy.
Sexy man, with the finals being between Sans Undertale and Reagan from Mob Psycho.
Oh, that was Reagan. Hey, W. Reagan. That makes sense. Reagan makes sense. It's
100. In a battle so powerful that it definitely wasn't a coincidence that the Queen of England died immediately after the raid of that day. But Tumblr is also the birthplace of a greater threat to humanity than disease or climate change. Shippers. People who...
Yep.
sole purpose on this earth is dedicated to arguing over fictional characters banging each other. And I mean, like, I kind of get it, because, like, half the appeal of shit like Twilight and the Hunger Games is which pair you were behind. You know, of course, mine was Katniss and Peter, because their ship name is Penis, and that's hilarious. But you think of a pairing of any fictional characters, and I guarantee you that they have their own army of affection-starved fans. Dude, like, there's a fake My Hero Academia video of Deku kissing Bakugo that has 28 million views, and I live in constant fear that the entirety of Australia is outnumbered by Baku-Deku shippers. And just to clarify, right, shipping on its own is not a problem, okay? I love seeing hot men making out with each other as much as the next guy, okay? But there are people who are willing to lay down their goddamn lives to verbally fight to the death for their favorite yaoi pairing. Voltron Legendary Defender had its entire reputation hijacked by its insane shipper fan base who spent, like, more time threatening the lives of the VAs and their families than actually watching the show. There was a time when they made the mistake of letting some of the fans leave their houses for the first time for a visit to the production studio where
the man-gay romance? Oh, yeah. Unhinged.
Someone accidentally leaked a bunch of photos of unreleased production material, and then, you know, when the studio asked very nicely for people to take them down because it was getting them into a shit ton of legal trouble, their replies were flooded by shippers trying to blackmail them into making their ship canon. I mean, apparently it was mainly like one guy, but I just love the idea that they think the animation team are the people that write the fucking show. There's this urban legend about someone who put like glass into cupcakes and gave it to the crew, and you know, while there's no proof that that actually happened, the fact that so many people think it's true tells you that these guys need to stop talking about fucking sheath and clans and need to start talking to a psychiatrist. But you know what? It could be worse, okay? At least they're not real people, alright? That'd be way too far. Larrys are shipping conspiracy theorists who believe that former One Direction bandmates Harry Styles and Louis Tomlinson had or are still having a long-term and secret romantic relationship, says Wikipedia.
I didn't. There's a term for this? We're in deep now.
Yeah, on their actual real-life page about One Direction shippers that's longer than their fucking coverage of both World Wars. I grew up during a time when like a solid 80% of the Markiplier fan base was only there to ship him with his actual real-life friend Jacksepticeye. Like, imagine how weird it would be being friends with someone knowing that like a bunch of 13-year-olds on the internet keep drawing you raw dogging the shit out of each other.
That would be very weird.
You think the obvious answer as to why this happens is kids, right? Because just like the seat behind me when I'm already having the worst fight of my life, kids just find a way to show up everywhere you don't want them to. Because every single day of my life, I'm regularly at risk of being exposed to a minor's opinion online. Because anytime I see a tweet that pisses me off, I don't even have to look to know that it's from someone with a number below 20 in their bio. I remember a while back while I was looking shit up for a video, I accidentally found out that there was a Slender Man fandom on Tumblr. You know, that old-ass creepypasta from like 2012 with the pages and PewDiePie and shit? Who made up like a whole Slender Man family filled with quirky characters like Trender Man, Splendor Man, and Sexual Offender Man, whose sole character trait is a word that I cannot say on YouTube, as if that's like some quirky, cute thing to make a character out of.
Oh my, we are done with, I saw a lot of files there. I did not want to keep, and here comes the circus.
Getting to watch in real time last year as the creator of the amazing digital circus realized that they'd cursed the internet with another uncontrollably horny fan base. I heard a story about like an Undertale fan who put actual needles in cookies that they then gave to a fan artist all because they were drawing a ship they didn't like. That is like actual attempted cookies that they
a fan artist was offered handmade cookies at the con only to find. Oh yeah, you can't trust people.
Then gave to a fan artist all because they were drawing a ship they didn't like. That is like actual attempted murder over a fictional game with a talking skeleton who's named after a font. So no, I don't think there's anything wrong with the fact that there's unironically an adult Thomas the Tank Engine. I gotta watch the video from you. Okay? You know, people like to bully Disney adults for having actual joy and whimsy in their lives. And like, if you want to call that cringe, go ahead, okay? But you know what else is cringe? Paying taxes, okay? Being an adult fucking sucks, and if cartoons for 8-year-old children gives you some brief joy in this horrible world, then go for it, king. And I'm not saying I'm any better, okay? I wrote a Transformers and My Little Pony fanfiction once. Batman shouldn't be able to get that info out of me, but I'm telling you anyway.
Yeah, I would have kept that secret to the grave. I would have kept that, took it to the grave with me, but hey, you're better than me.
An up 14-year-old. I have literal terabytes of Bionicle fanfiction on my computer that I will be burning with creating for the remainder of my adult life. My friend and I co-wrote a Dragon Ball Z and Transformers fic that was 17 pages long.
That sounds nice.
It was a spin-off of our then also ongoing separate DBZ and Transformers fics that were about 80 times longer than that. I have a file on my laptop called 5 Nights at Equestria that I'm too afraid to open, okay? I'm taking that one to my grave.
I'm too afraid to open.
We've all been like this at some point, okay? Whether it's typing up a Shadow X Shrek Lemon fanfiction.
No, that's not true. That's not true anymore. Nope, you lost me there. You lost me there.
We've all been like this at some point, okay? Whether it's typing up a Shadow X Shrek Lemon fanfiction or making FNAF plush toy videos, as long as you're not literally trying to kill people or threaten their lives because two men didn't tongue fuck each other in a kid's show, I think what we've learned here today is that at least you're not a sports fan. I'm not going to be checking my DMs for the next few weeks. Good night, chat.
Hey, listen, sports fans. I got nothing to defend. I can't really defend them. I'm slowly becoming a sports fan just for American football, like my Ravens. But I just like my Ravens. I just like them. But you won't see me breaking TVs or like yelling at. Well, I might yell like funny, like, "Hey, your team sucks," but like comedy-wise, I won't like seriously. Hey, you should go somewhere right now. What is this? What am I hearing? What is in my ear? Stop. But yeah, like I was trying to say is, you won't catch me trying to have fights out in random parking lots, or I would never go to a game. But yeah, I'm not that far gone. But sports fans, they can get annoying. You know, you're seeing with musicians. They have like a super popular fan base. They can get also very unhinged. I think the worst ones are definitely Yeah, definitely the people that always like harm somebody in the process of this. If you're making like weird, crazy fanfics, whatever, that's okay unless you like get into the borderline like, hey, that's weird. He does what? That's illegal. If you get in illegal territory with some of this stuff, I'm like, all right, you're gone too far. But if you're just making random fanfics or kind of weird shippings, whatever, if you're not hurting nobody, sure. But when you start sending in threats or apparently cupcakes filled with needles and glass, you deserve jail. You deserve to go to prison. I don't know. That's where I stand on that. If you're hurting somebody or you're sending threats, either you go to jail or you get like banned or something. Because you have taken it way too far. Your delusions is out of this world. You need to talk to somebody that's not in the community. You gotta talk to somebody outside your community. But that was, can't even say fun. That was more like kind of shocking. I didn't know about some of these fan bases and some of these terms they be using. But hey, we're gonna end it right here because I don't want to talk anymore about this because fan bases can be weird, as we all saw. So hope you enjoyed my reaction and thank you for watching. My cup of tea is out of here. This is everybody. Shoot, you haven't even talked about the politics side of things. I've been like kind of in the loop with some of these politic creators, and it's mad over there. You don't even call it a fan base. It's just crazy over there. Everyone, just keep doing you. Don't hurt nobody, and we a-okay. That's all. Let's keep our hands to ourselves. That's all. Keep our hands to ourselves.